Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Wake Up Mission Show with your hosts, Shalene Nightingale and Randy Dees. Where is the revolution? Where is our solution? The time to wake up is here and now. Time for revolution.
Hey, welcome back to the Wake Up Mission Show, an underground network connecting the dots for liberty. And I'm solo today. Well, Randy's in the studio. He's on the board, but due to his noisy studio today under construction, he may not be joining us the rest of the show, but he's here, he's listening, and he's helping me with the board. So love you, Randy, and so glad that you are my co-host. Anyway, it is Truth Tuesday. Later in the second hour, my dear friend, Dr. Shirley Moore, joins us to discuss the Republic and other matters of truth, and she's a hoot. Trust me, you will all love her as much as I do. So for the last several weeks now, we started Truth Tuesday, and ever since we started this, many friends and supporters of our show have been requesting for us to discuss CERN, C-E-R-N, CERN. And I have to admit, as awake as I think that I am, it proves you always are learning something every single day. I had no idea what CERN was. So no idea until my friend Ed Baker, so I want to thank you, Ed. If you're listening, we love you. He sent me some videos, and this was several weeks back. But since then, I've had Robert and Art and so many. I mean, the list goes on of people saying, please talk about CERN. So why? Word on the street, or at least in the truth movement, is that CERN will open up the pits of hell. Yes, you heard that right. The pits of hell, unleashing evil unto the world. I don't know why, but suddenly I'm thinking of that Motley Crue song. Shout, shout, shout at that demon. You know the rest of the lyrics. So is this true? And should we be concerned about CERN? Well, last week, we had my other really good friend, Art Olivier, on the show for Truth Tuesday, discussing 9/11. That was what we discussed last week. Well, he even has something to say about CERN. Take a listen.
Fire!
These two circles are in Nahant, Massachusetts. They were part of battery number 206, a 6-inch modernized gun battery that was built during World War II. Between the circles is an underground bunker. If you follow the line between the centers of the circles to the southwest, it takes you over the middle of Fort Independence in Boston. In 1806, Freemason and Secretary of War Henry Dearborn had the fort converted from a square to a pentagon that resembles the citadel in the satanic city of Turin. This fort is an important part of the 9/11 ley line. Continuing on this line through the center of the southwest Raveland, the line is tangent to the relativistic heavy ion collider at the Brookhaven National Laboratory. On 3/18/2005, a Brown University physicist created a fireball in a particle accelerator at Brookhaven when he smashed the nuclei of gold atoms together at nearly the speed of light. The collisions were powerful enough to break the nuclei into gluons, and quarks, the most basic building blocks of matter. Particles created a plasma fireball 300 million times hotter than the surface of the sun. Physicists believe that the plasma fireball was a black hole. Professor Otto Rossler says that these black holes could accidentally bring about the end of the world by reducing the size of Earth to 1.9 centimeters. Brookhaven works closely with the largest collider in the world, the Large Hadron Collider near Geneva, Switzerland, which is part of the CERN Nuclear Research Center. This is the Hindu god Shiva, who performs his divine dance to destroy a weary universe. And this is a life-size statue of Shiva at CERN. Here we have dancers dressed up like CERN workers doing the Shiva dance of destruction in the underground CERN facility. The purpose of this dance is to release the souls of all men from the snare of illusion. Most scientists believe that the chances of CERN accidentally creating a black hole large enough to consume the world is remote. But what if the people that are ultimately responsible for funding CERN, that are into ley lines, numerology, and human sacrifice, felt that it is their responsibility to destroy the world in order to release the souls of all men from the snare of illusion and start the process of creation?
This has been a secret project we've been working on for a long time.
So maybe it is a secret project they've been working on for a long time, but is it the end of the world as we know it? Well, if you go and you Google online, you won't find as much about CERN as you do other subject matters like 9/11 or the Illuminati, but there's a growing number of videos and other information out there from the truth movement indicating that, well, maybe it is. So what is CERN exactly? Well, according to the official CERN site, which is CERN, CERN .ch. So CERN.ch. I invite you to go take a look around yourself. It's a very scientific website, I can assure you. A lot of photos of their machinery and what they're doing. But what's interesting is, as I was doing my research on this, I found that that one of the scientists said in an interview, when somebody asked him, you know, what is the truth about what you're doing? And he said, well, the truth is what we, what we tell people is one truth. What is really going on is another. I mean, the guy actually said this, but the truth always prevails, which is why people like Art and others and this show are now starting to explore CERN. One thing you will notice when you go on their website, when you take a look around at their various pages, you will note that there is a lot of like microaggression, New World Order, UN type talk on there. You know, a lot of talk about integrating and just, you know, the buzzwords that the New World Order elite like to use. So, but this is what is on their site. At CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, physicists and engineers are probing the fundamental structure of the universe. They use the world's largest and most complex scientific instruments to study the basic constituents of matter, the fundamental particles. The particles are made to collide together at close to the speed of light. The process gives the physicists clues about how the particles interact and provides insights into the fundamental laws of nature. I emphasize speed of light because I did watch an interesting video when I was doing all my research. And one of the videos called 2015. It was like something about the darkness of light, or the light of awakening, or something to the effect. Really, the video explained how what it meant was the opposite of Christ. So that's the year of 2015. What I found interesting, and I'm getting the title of what they called the year wrong because I didn't write it down, I have to admit. But in my memory, see, it's the first thing to go, right? But anyway, as I was watching all these videos, though, it intrigued me because a lot of videos are saying that it's September 2015 that they expect their CERN experiment to open up the abyss. That's what they're expecting. And that coincides with the Shemitah, the end of Shemitah, the beginning of jubilation period, of course, the end of Jade Helm, the big UN New World Order climate conference going on, which is said to enact the final nail into the one world government. Yesterday, remember, we spoke to my friend, Edward Griffin. I love that man. Could listen to him for hours and hours. And what he was saying yesterday is that the UN is already the one world government. There's just a couple other steps that they need to take before they're completely enacted. One of them, of course, was disarming all of us and arming them. But some believe that what they're doing at this so-called climate change summit in September will be the final to implement their total dominance of the world. A lot going on in September. So it's interesting that what they call this year, 2015, rumors about September being when CERN completes its mission. Well, elsewhere on the site, it says the instruments used at CERN, I found that to be interesting. Choice of words. Purpose. Particle accelerators and detectors. Accelerators boost beams of particles to high energies before the beams are made to collide with each other or with stationary targets. Detectors then observe and record the results of these collisions. Now, CERN, and this is why I was so, perplexed that I just learned about this, was founded, long before we were born here on this show, but it was founded in 1954. The CERN laboratory sits on the Franco-Swiss border near Geneva. Now, isn't that interesting? The Geneva Summit? Geneva. I just think that the location is rather interesting. It was one of Europe's first joint ventures and now has 21 member states. By the way, just a side note, CERN is part of the European Union. Now, the name CERN is derived from the acronym for the French Conseil Européen pour la Recherche Nucléaire. Of course, I butchered that. I don't speak French, but close enough. You get what I'm saying. So in English, what does that mean? European Council for Nuclear Research. A provisional body founded originally in 1952. The mandate of establishing a world-class fundamental physics research organization in Europe. And at that time, pure physics research concentrated on understanding the inside of an atom, hence the word nuclear. So obviously they started in 1952, but they actually founded CERN and their location in 1954. On their website, they claim that today their understanding of matter goes much deeper than the nucleus, and now CERN's main area of research is particle physics, the study of the fundamental constituents of matter and the forces acting between them. Because of this, the laboratory operated by CERN is often referred to as the European Laboratory for Particle Physics. Rather interesting. Now, on their website, if you go to it, they have the following questions. Number one, what is the universe made of? Number two, how did it start? Number three, the Big Bang should have created equal parts of matter and antimatter. Hello? Isn't that what all of us Christians always try to tell atheists and people who do not believe? That how in the world did the Big Bang do take a look around? So that's the one statement on their site I agreed with. Yeah, if the Big Bang theory was proven to be true, why wasn't it equal amounts of matter everywhere? And how did you get trees, water? I mean, there's just, to me, personally, it takes more faith to not believe in the creation theory than it does either the Big Bang or evolution theory. To me, I have many questions about it, as do they. Because here's their final question that went with their statement before their question. So why is there far more matter than antimatter in the universe? Now, I will say what I found interesting about that question is that they don't even have the answers themselves. We're going to watch a video here in a second. That's the music of it. Eerie sounding, right? So what I found really interesting was not only are they asking these questions because they don't know. Those of us, obviously, they're not coming from a Christian perspective. Those of us who do, we don't have these questions. Much more simpler to believe in creation, in my opinion. So instead, they use scientific theories such as the Higgs boson, which is the following. Elementary particles may have gained their mass from an elusive particle. The 27-kilometer LHS, that's their machine, is the world's largest particle accelerator. And there's photos of it on their website, and it is rather humongous. It collides protons or lead eons at energies approaching the speed of light. I want you to take a listen to this sermon that my friend Ed Baker sent me. It's rather interesting. Take a listen. It starts out with this little bit of music.
Forever.
Take a listen.
The revamped Large Hadron Collider LHC is due to be restarted after a 2-year hiatus. Described in some reports as a monstrous underground atom smasher, the LHC is the world's most powerful particle collider, and it's already revolutionized physics with the discovery of the Higgs boson. Higgs boson's ability to give mass to most elementary particles has earned it the nickname the God particle. The LHC is expected to run faster than ever and is predicted to reach its highest collision energy by June. It's on course to smash all records and solve some of the biggest mysteries in physics.
After years in the repair shop, the world's most complex machine is coming out of hibernation. Scientists are hitting the restart button on the Large Hadron Collider. Straddling the French-Swiss border, what's been called the Big Bang machine consists of a 17-mile underground ring. There, subatomic particles travel at almost the speed of light and are smashed together, allowing scientists to sift through the aftermath in an attempt to answer unsolved questions about things like dark matter, supersymmetry, and extra dimensions. The LHC is a science experiment that took decades to come together. The LHC was finally up and running in 2008. For the first time, a beam of protons steered around the collider. But it wasn't a smooth start. 9 days later, an electrical problem damaged the machine. About 1 year and $40 million in repairs later, the machine was back online, and the payoff was colossal. In 2012, CERN announced the discovery of the elusive Higgs boson, the so-called God particle, thought to explain how other particles get their mass. But the following year, the $10 billion proton collider was taken offline for refurbishing. Now, it's being fired up again. This run is due to go through 2017. With the upgrades, particles can collide together at even higher energies, giving scientists another chance to unlock the mysteries of our universe.
The Large Hadron Collider is being fired up this week after a 2-year hiatus, and a group of scientists believes that the results could prove the existence of parallel universes. Scientists believe that a second run of the LHC could produce or detect miniature black holes, which they argue could point to entire universes hidden away in higher dimensions folded into our reality. Now the LHC will be powered to its highest ever energy levels, about double those of its last run. And if these scientists are right, the new run could uncover black holes tucked away in dimensions beyond the 4 that we interact with in our daily lives.
So the book of Revelation opens up the future for us. So in Revelation chapter number 9 and verse 1, the scripture says, "And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared to battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men. They had hair as the hair of a woman, and with teeth were as the teeth of lions. And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron. The sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tail. Their power was to hurt men 5 months. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. Woe, one woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. Now, what I'm going to preach you this morning may be one of the most important messages that I've ever preached in all the years that I've been preaching the Word of God. But what I have studied has alarmed me greatly, to the point to where I need to get this material out to you that are listening. I originally had planned to preach this tonight, but the Holy Spirit changed my mind and said, preach it in the morning. So this morning I'm going to preach you a message about something that is happening right now. It's in Cern, Switzerland. Now, you may not be aware of what's going on over there, but there's a thing over there that's called a Large Hadron Collider, and it is an accelerator. It accelerates particles and then brings them to the point of collision. So this Large Hadron Collider was started up just a few days ago, and it's still in the initial process of being brought online completely. You say, what in the world does something like that have to do with me and the Bible? It has a lot to do with you and the Bible. It makes an application to your life and to this world as we know it today. For what is happening in that collider is an astounding thing. So I want to read something to you this morning from a theoretical physicist, Stephen Hawking. And he is one that some rate even on the level of Einstein. Listen carefully. These are the words of Stephen Hawking. He recently warned the reactivation in March of CERN's Large Hadron Collider could pose grave dangers to our planet. The ultimate reality, check, we are warned. Hawking has come straight out and said the God particle, and this is what you've heard referred to time and again as the Higgs boson particle, the God particle found by CERN could destroy the universe. Now let that settle in. This man is an atheist, and he says there is no God. Yet he says that what's happening right now in CERN, Switzerland, and I'll give you what they're trying to do in a moment, what's happening at this very minute in CERN, Switzerland, has the potential to destroy the universe. Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson has also sounded the alarm by telling anyone who might want to blow up a planet how to do so is this CERN's attempt to do so by attempting to recreate the Big Bang within a man-made structure. This has frightened Stephen Hawking so much. Do they know that they know that they know what they are doing? Ask yourself, how much energy is keeping it together? Then you put more than that amount of energy into the object, it will explode. I've quoted two physicists. These are scientists. These men do not agree with what's happening in CERN, Switzerland right now. There is a 17-mile long accelerator that lies 300 feet beneath the surface of the ground. This area is where France and Switzerland come together. So part of this accelerator is located in France and part of it in Switzerland. It is a joint European project. The United States of America is there as an observer, but the brain power that's going in to this experimentation originates in Europe. They are attempting to recreate what they believe happened that brought all of this into existence as being the Big Bang. Now, you and I know from the book of Genesis, chapter number 1, that in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. He spoke it into existence. They are finding things, and this is what's important for us to understand today. They are discovering things that they did not expect to discover as they get deeper and deeper into this experimentation. They are beginning to find out that there is a whole lot more to the creation than they had ever given thought to before. They're beginning to find out that there's something going on here that boggles the human mind, that literally blows us apart when we try to even comprehend what's happening. This 17-mile long underground tube that is located there in Switzerland has, I think, 4 or 5 different points where they collide particles that are being moved at or above the speed of light inside this collider. They're looking for the very building blocks of what brought all of this together. To give you an analogy, let's say you have a house. You observe that house, it's beautiful. You think, my goodness, let's see how this is put together. And so you start taking the house apart and you expect to find nails, but instead you find glue. That fascinates you that much more because you find glue holding this house together. You wonder to yourself, what was this glue like before its hardened state? Because you see, once the glue glues the things together, it hardens, solidifies. They want to know what the glue was like in its liquid state. So they're going through this to go back to that point to where they can separate and find out what this was like then. And by doing that, of course, they can build on the information and knowledge that they attain. Now, what's going to follow in the message this morning is the implications of what's going on. But let me give you just a little bit of what has been happening. Where they have done this experimentation, strange things are happening, unexpected by the scientist. Paranormal phenomena, they like to call it. Apparitions, ghosts, all kinds of demonic spirits are beginning to manifest themselves in ways. Here we have, in CERN, Switzerland, a huge wheel. Inside that wheel is a Hindu god, and his name is Shiva. He does a dance of destruction inside that wheel, and his purpose is he is one of the triad gods, one of the greatest gods of Hinduism. Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma. Brahma is the god of creation. Vishnu is the god of preservation, but Shiva is the god of destruction. The way the Hindu sees it is that when Shiva destroys, it's not for the purpose of annihilation. He destroys so that Brahma can come and recreate. So now when the Hindus, since they're scientists to CERN, they put this out there in front, and so what these people are doing with the collider is destroying what comes together, but for the purpose of recreating and find out what brought it into existence to begin with. Are you following me? Now here we have men that are scientists on an average of an IQ of anywhere from 160 to 200 or even above. These are some of the smartest brains in all the world. No question about it whatsoever. But we were told when Darwin's theory of evolution came out and became vogue, that it would destroy the foundations of Christianity, and this old book that we hold in our hands, this old outdated Bible, would no longer be relevant, and a lot of people bought into it. Because after all, Darwin is scientific. But it's an amazing thing now that 150 years later, we have some of the greatest scientists in the world that are becoming very religious. Because here they've got Shiva, they've got dances to Shiva.
And dances to Shiva is very true. Now that video, by the way, that audio portion of that 50 minutes long, and we will make sure to have that up on our website, thewakeupmissionshow.com. Now, interesting enough, you heard a little bit in that audio clip about some strange events. And when I was doing my research, apparently several employees have read such sightings as ghosts, eerie sounds, demonic, dark-like entities. And also what I noticed is, like in the bankster and big pharma groups, there's some missing scientists that are involved with CERN, and nobody seems to know where they are. By the way, here's another little fact. CERN is the location of the invention of the World Wide Web back in 1989 by British scientist Tim Berners-Lee. So much power in inventing the internet, although they all seem to run in the same demonic crowd. And what do I mean by I have one more audio clip. I know we're playing more audio clips than normal today, but there's just not enough information on CERN out there yet. And I found that I went through thousands of, I'm exaggerating, of course, but I went through so many audio and video and information out there. And I just thought that this clip was rather interesting. Take a listen to this guy.
Well, hey guys. We're seeing so much about CERN in this time. It is unbelievable. The amount of CERN-related propaganda that is coming out. I'm going to go through this Symmetry trailer soon. Dance and opera movie film Inside CERN, which Truth Media Revolution took a look at. And it's just really, really interesting. What they're showing in so many different places. I've had a quick look around the internet, and there's so much music videos, movies, alluding to this CERN. Another thing, just like 9/11, that has been pre-programmed in stuff for many years. And one thing I'm going to look into is a Disney movie, which seems to relate to the same thing. But this here is what it's all about: the keys to the gates to the pit, the keys, the tones. It's all about frequencies, tones, Solomon's key, and right through the centre there of what they call the Star of David, of course to do with Saturn. Right in the centre there you've got the shaft, which is the eye on one pole and the hexagonal feature on the other. You're looking through the shaft of Saturn, and it's all to do with cracking open time and space. As Stephen Hawking has already warned people, CERN could see the end of time and space. So they're trying to form this, just like in this diagram that I showed before. What I think they're actually effectively trying to do is the collapse of dimensions, the collide of dimensions, of planes of existence, taking the sword out of the stone, faster than the speed of light. Now, Christ was from life. Jesus Christ, the real Jesus Christ, was from life. He died in this curse, and he became the curse of sin and the ox and time and space and all of these things. And this, of course, with the Antichrist, has to reverse this in order to bring on the new age of Antichrist, the rebuilding of the tower. Now, Christ actually died in between that seal of Saturn on the cross. Remember, X can mean 6, like the gematria, like the word fox. X can mean 6, so just like Vav, the nail. So he died on that seal, if you can imagine, across the cross there. The 2 nail marks being the 2 X's, the seal. The whole tower of dimensions that we live in, he died across the whole thing. He is Lord of heaven and earth, and he holds everything together, and they need to try and reverse this in their counterfeit way to bring on the new age of Antichrist, because Jesus Christ sealed them in the pit. Jesus Christ's death sealed them in, and the Antichrist goal is to open the pit and bring it all here, an inversion of Christ and what he did for us on the cross. But anyway, so moving on, we keep seeing, just to remind us, this is the video I did last, Tether. You see these 2 cubes in the barren land there. Just to remind us, the barren land joining together, all to do with this sex magic type stuff. And the cornerstone, the inverted cornerstone of the cube there, because that's what Jesus Christ, he became the cornerstone of the whole thing. And this needs to flip it upside down and swap light for darkness, darkness for light. And that is how they intend to open the pit with a sword there in the barren land, opening, cracking open time and space. And CERN itself, as many of already know, I'm sure, but CERN itself has the 666 in it, of course, and the whole thing, the whole logo is a 3-dimensional shaft, a 3-dimensional tower, and it's CERN, it's Cernunnos, god of fertility, the underworld, the horned god, of course fertility, because the alchemical fertility, male, female, red, blue, fire, water, the alchemy of the gate, of what they're doing to form a gate. As we know with CERN, opening of the pit, just like you see in the Mayan depictions of the same kind of instrument leading directly down into the pit, in search for the smallest particle, the ring. The ring, the whole thing being a ring, of course, but the ring, what is a ring? It's a tone, it's a vibration, a ring. And it's all to do with cosmic dance, tones, vibrations. CERN brought out a musical instrumental score of their information, remember? And this trailer is alluding to the opening of the pit, which of course, as I say, keys, tones, frequencies, the ring, a phone rings, you know. So here we're in the barren land. Remember the barren womb on the bottom of that tower. They always show this barren land and the collide of light. We've actually got black and white there, which would represent the 2 pillars. But going down into the abyss, into the bottomless pit, and cracking open, unsealing what they are sealed in with the ring there. Total ritualistic stuff. Now, remember, it's Shiva in the ring. Shiva as the cosmic dancer who performs his divine dance. Shiva, the ring, just like the London Eye, the gates, the London Eye. Shiva, and at CERN they have obviously, as some of you may know, they have the statue of Shiva, the cosmic dance. That's what all of this is about, and the gate. One ring to rule them all. Here we go. Is that familiar thing in the car commercial I covered recently? You see this whole light particle collide stuff, and out of it in this one you get the aperture of the camera, the aperture being the eye, the lens, the iris, Siri, iris, lens, gate, and the collide of light, the God particle. They believe that God is represented by this atomic power. From the abyss, all womb abyss stuff, demons trapped in there, of course, and that's what I believe they are trying to open.
The Matrix is everywhere.
So trying
It is all around us.
to open the pits of hell. And so to recap all the audio that we just heard, first of all, if you go to the CERN website, you yourself will see what they alluded to in all three audio, from Art till that last one. Their logo is a 6. And so you'll notice that pretty much all right away. Also, the other thing is they talk about Shiva. Shiva, of course, is a god in Hinduism. And outside their facility, there Geneva, again, location, they have a huge monument of Shiva in a circle. And also they have this really strange, and you heard bits and pieces of it throughout those three audio, really strange. I watched it today. Advertisement. I mean, they're advertising this. It just shows how crazy they are. Like we would all be like, wow, this is so interesting. No, it was really bizarre. They have people dressed up as employees that are dancers, and they do this dance of Shiva, which is the dance of, it's called the dance of destruction. And they actually did, the employees, before they launched on March 13th or 15th of this year, 2015, it was March 23rd, 2015, when they launched their latest project, they did the dance of destruction before launching it and filmed themselves doing it. So it was just very strange. Also, going back to the advertisement, you heard it, especially in the last one, kept mentioning barren land. Well, in their ad, they go from being right by their LCH, doing the dance of destruction, and the next thing you know, the lead guy, he's in a circle. And then this guy that a lot of people are saying, wow, the guy kind of looks like Obama. I don't know if he so much, but he's in an Obama-like figure, and he's outside the circle, and then somehow the two of them, kind of collide. It's very ritualistic. It's very strange. It's very bizarre. A lot of Hinduism in what they're doing, and a lot of strangeness. And like the guy said, like I went at the beginning of the show, one of their scientists said, the truth we tell the public and the truth of what's really going on are two different things, basically. So you have to decide for yourself, are they trying to get to the pits of hell? I think that these are very deceived scientists, deceived individuals who are doing what they think is good for, you can't even really say it's good for mankind, just they think it's good for their scientific discoveries. But Stephen Hawking, and again, he is an atheist. Stephen Hawking is not a Christian. And yet he has warned these scientists over there over and over and over and over again to stop what they're doing. He's concerned that what is going to open up a portal as well. And being an atheist, I don't know what portal he thinks they're going to open. So you have to decide. I think that really it's a lot of prayer. We will have some information on our website, thewakeupmissionshow.com, as well as our Facebook page. Go through the videos that I post, Google yourself, and I say just do a lot of praying. So today we talked about CERN here on Truth Tuesday, and when I come back, I believe I will not only have Randy with me, but I have a couple of headlines I want to go over before the end of our first hour. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Randy again. If you listen to the show, you know Shalene and I sound the alarm and grab attention. Well, let us help you get the attention your brand deserves. Thousands of listeners worldwide could be hearing your message right now. So advertise with us. Our rates are low cost with a variety of options to fit into any budget. So come on, free market capitalists. Contact us by email, staff@thewakeupmissionshow.com. Defenders of Liberty are waiting to help you increase your business right now.
And tomorrow we have another very interesting show. I'm very much looking forward to it. We have Jeff Berwick. If you have been in the truth movement or liberty movement for quite some time, you will know this name, Jeff Berwick. He's like he's kind of like the Donald Trump of, he doesn't live in the U.S. He's right now he's in Mexico. He goes to Canada, but he is either a multimillionaire, billionaire like Trump. He just happens to be libertarian. We're going to talk tomorrow, Shamika, Bitcoins, and just all the other issues that are happening that anybody in the liberty movement would be interested in. And that is tomorrow, Wednesday. And then on Thursday, Randy, my friend Michelle Delacroix is going to come back. She's got a little update and what is going on in the media and Donald Trump. So that'll be interesting. She'll be here for a quick segment on our Tree of Liberty Thursday.
Here at the Wake Up Mission Show, we want all of our listeners to be debt-free and financially free. We believe a free market system is best for the restoration of liberty. If you are tired of looking for a job in this hopeless market, or if you are struggling to pay your monthly bills, let us help. We have several income opportunities for you which are tested and proven by our company, the Wake Up Mission LLC. To learn more, go to our website, www.thewakeupmissionshow.com, and click on the Financial Solutions tab.